Later in this episode.
I've lost my glasses and my hat. Let's go see a fountain show!
Yeah! But first,
If you're headed to Epic Universe, you're gonna wanna have the perfect day. And this is exactly how to do that. Let's have the perfect day at Epic Universe. Epic Universe is the newest theme park on the really national scene. It is Universal Orlando's new theme park. 5 different lands, incredible theming, shows, rides, food. We're gonna do a lot of it today, having the absolute perfect day. And along the way, I'm going to give you every single one of my best tips to having the perfect day at Epic Universe. Now, I have been here almost 20 times, even though it just opened last month. So I consider myself a little bit of an expert here, and I'm gonna share exactly how to make sure you have the best day ever at Epic Universe. And all of that starts with your rope drop strategy. But real quick, before we get to our rope dropping, I do have a little side errand to run, and it's one that is a very big pro tip for an epic day. That's better. So Epic, you may have heard, has very little to no shade around the park. It is bright, the trees are young, they just got planted in the last few years, so it is a lot of sun. So sunscreen, sunglasses, hats are a must. I couldn't find my hats this morning, so I have had my eye on this for a while, so I got this just first thing in the park. But we are headed to our little rope drop activity. Now the park today is open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. You might see it open from anywhere from like 9 or 10 a.m. to like 9 or 10 p.m. It sort of varies depending on the day and when you come. The best way to have a perfect day is to take advantage of rope drop. Rope drop is the first hour or so that a theme park is open, and it is one of the times of day where you can get the shortest waits for some of the highest demand attractions. So it is a pretty important time of day. Now today, the park opened at 10, which means Universal Hotel guests got access to Epic starting at 9 a.m. Of course, there's gonna be a little bit of a different experience whether you're coming as a hotel guest or as a regular guest, but I'll talk about both and how to make the most of them. If you do have access to early entry, you are going to have access to Super Nintendo World and Stardust Racers. Now, I recommend using this time to ride Stardust Racers, as the majority of folks will head to Super Nintendo World, but if you play your cards right, you can do both. Head to Super Nintendo first in that instance, and then swing on over to Stardust Racers before the park opens. However, just because those are the only 2 things that are open does not mean that's the only way to spend your rope drop. In fact, if you have the high priority of one of the 2 most popular attractions in the park, either Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter ride, or meeting Toothless, yes, that is typically the second longest line in the park, you can use your early entry time to line up outside of those 2 portals before they open. That way, you'll be the first inside when the portal does open at 10 a.m. or a little bit before, and you can walk straight to either Harry Potter Battle at the Ministry or the Toothless meet and greet. Now, if you don't have early entry, gonna make it pretty simple for you. It's actually that same thing. You can get into the park at the same time as early entry folks, that hour early. You just won't be able to head into Super Nintendo World or Stardust Racers. So you can come into the park a full hour early and go ahead and line up at Isle of Berk or Wizarding World of Harry Potter to go and take advantage of those popular attractions. This is a great way to totally eliminate one of the longest waits once the park is open, but it does mean you're standing out in a long wait before the park opens. So really all it's saving you is precious time once the park does open. Is it a necessity? No. But we are heading straight to meet Toothless this morning as part of our rope drop strategy, because that's a must for us today on our perfect day. That line does get long, it stays long all day, and it's shortest in the morning. So we're gonna see if we can get a short enough wait to meet Toothless, and maybe a Hiccup, maybe a Viking, maybe Astrid, I don't know, we'll see. But we are gonna see that cute dragon. Now before we quite make it over there, I do wanna say you should grab yourself a little beverage for your first long line. Now for me, that is gonna be Toothless this morning, since there were a lot of people lining the portal before me. So Toothless is gonna be our longer line this morning, but often it can be the first time you get in a line after that rope drop period. If you want to see what I mean, check out my video where I rode everything at Epic Universe in one day. I am going to start our day with a bit of an important purchase for an Epic Universe day. Unfortunately, one of my tips is come prepared for a few special souvenirs, and this is one of them. For around $20, you can get a Coca-Cola Freestyle souvenir cup. These souvenir cups have a super cool Epic Universe pattern on them, and they give you refills all day. You can reactivate them for later days for a little bit cheaper, and I did leave mine at home, so whoops. Souvenir cup in hand. These things are awesome. They're very high quality. I would drink out of it at home. And check out the spout. Super easy to drink out of without ice hitting your teeth. Super easy to cover, so you can carry it in a bathroom and not be stressed out. And then you can just head to a freestyle machine and fill it with literally whatever you want. Okay, I met Toothless. It was a little under an hour actually, so still a little long because I didn't rush straight here and line up at the portal, but really not bad. It's now posted 75 minutes with a long line, and it's getting hotter, so I do recommend that if you do want to meet Toothless, just head straight there. It gets you the best chance of seeing him without waiting super long and without being in the hot sun. So I do recommend that. But our timing is perfect for us to catch the next Untrainable Dragon show. The Untrainable Dragon is the stage show here in Isle of Berk. It is a very cool show where basically a dragon has arrived in Berk that's untrainable, even for Hiccup. The show is very fun as they figure out why the dragon is so untrainable and maybe have some success or failure at the end. But though the show is cute and has singing and dancing, the best part about it is when Hiccup arrives, flying on Toothless's back over the audience. If you've watched any of my epic videos so far, you know that this is my peak moment of things that can happen in the park that feel like magic is real. It really feels like seeing Toothless and Hiccup fly through the clouds. It is just such an incredible thing to see. I've cried every time I've seen it, and that's not gonna stop. So that is probably the reason to see this show. It's a must-do, I think, for everyone, just for that one big wow moment. The rest of the show is cute and fun and very kid-friendly, and in the air conditioning with seats that have backs. So lots of reasons to see this one. I usually like to see it later in the afternoon to get a little break, but our timing was so good, we're seeing it now. So let's head in. No filming in the show, so I'm out. Worth doing though. It was nice to cool down and nice to see a really wonderful show. I am getting hungry, but I wanted to do a full lunch in another area, and I kind of want to take the park in a certain order today. So I'd like to finish Berk out before we leave, which means I think that we got to get a snack, and I think we got to get a pretty famous viral snack. And I think we have to do it with a tip that will help you out, help me out, help everybody out, because you should not be waiting in a super long line for this. Hooligan Harbor Hideaway, and it is a shady, huge shaded seating area with tons of tables. That's where we're gonna grab our snack, that's where we're gonna eat our snack, but I'm gonna get it from Spitfire Grill. You may know that Isle of Berk is a bit famous for one of Epic Universe's most famous snacks, and that is the mac and cheese cone. There are 3 different flavors. My favorite is the PB&J one, and that's what I'm gonna grab. Now, you can get these over at Hooligan's Hideaway, which is across the water over there, in a standby line that typically takes a good minute in the sun, or you can mobile order them from Spitfire Grill, wait for your order to be called, and walk right up to the window to grab it. Much faster, much easier, much less standing in line, which is what we want to do on a perfect day. Now, this isn't really my breakfast because the park didn't open until 10, so it's already pretty much lunchtime. So breakfast at home is going to be the move for Epic Universe on days that it opens at 10. If it opens earlier and you want kind of a solid breakfast, a really cool breakfast, you want to head to Cafe Lair de la Sirène. Now, we're headed there for lunch, but they do a breakfast combo that includes a drink and is incredible. Everything that Miranda actually had there was incredible. So if you want breakfast, Cafe Lair de la Sirène is an option if you're here earlier, but we're not here that early, so we get to have mac and cheese cones now, and I had a protein shake for breakfast, which is less fun than exciting wizarding French food. Snack of champions. Snack of dragon riders. Capacity's rising, wait times are rising. Right now, right at noon, a little after noon, the shortest wait in the park is Constellation Carousel with 30 minutes. Monsters Unchained is 35, Dragon Racers Rally right near me is 45. Everything else is an hour or higher, with our highest in the park being Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge is now at 150 minutes, and Stardust Racers at 120 minutes. Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry is coming in at just under 2 hours at 110, and Minecart is 100 right now. Yoshi's is 75. Do not wait 75 minutes for Yoshi's Adventure. My golly gosh. Now, we are going to try to wait some of these wait times out, because something that has been true of Epic in the previews and since it's open is that wait times are high for the first half of the day and then start to drop as people have started to do everything and go to their lower priorities. So we are going to wait some of them out and maybe do a bit of not wait timey things for a little bit. In a park that's new with lots of crowds, there are going to be waits. Waits are not a barrier to a perfect day, okay? It's just how you handle them. We're going to do all of our must-dos. We're going to make sure to not use time on stuff that we don't care too much about, and we're not going to have any unpleasant waits. And that's how we're going to have a perfect day today. I was close enough to done with my mac and cheese cone that I just finished it, but I did grab us another Powerade to drink. While we pass the meat hall, we are not going to get lunch here, but I do recommend it. I enjoyed the lunch there. It's Scandinavian food. I think IKEA meatballs, but a little bit better. We are going to head to Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Now, almost every single ride has a single rider line that can get you on in usually about half the time of the posted wait. Now, in the instance of Minecart Madness, the Donkey Kong ride, that doesn't really work. This is posted an hour and it's dropping. So that's still too high for people to have rushed over here, but I think it'll be less than an hour. Now, if you really don't want to deal with any of these waits, there are a couple of ways you can do that. You can buy Express Pass, which I did not do. It's a one-day ticket add-on that lets you skip most of the lines at Epic Universe. But it doesn't work on Battle at the Ministry, and it doesn't work on Minecart Madness, which tend to be two of the longest lines in the park. So make sure you know that before you purchase. To skip those lines and also just have a really incredible day, you can do a VIP tour. This is where you'll have a tour guide taking you around Epic Universe. They will take you into all the different rides. They'll take into account what your group wants to do. Make sure you get to do everything. They can even take you to meet Toothless. So they have a couple of options. You can do private tours, which are 8 hours, or you can do group tours, which are 4 hours, where you'll be with other parties. The group tours can be as low as $200 per person, which I know I said as low and that's expensive, but for a guided VIP tour, compared to like Disney's, pretty low. VIP tour express are nice, but if you know how to prioritize, know how to decide what's worth it for your family and what's not, you really don't need it for a day at Epic Universe. Our gamble paid off. We're at the lockers, which is where you drop your stuff off before heading on the ride. We waited in line for 35 minutes, so really not bad at all. Hiccup's Wing Gliders, man. It's a fun ride. I have the lap bar gets really pinchy on my legs. It's actually not my favorite, but I'm showing a kind of global perfect day, and this is an extremely popular ride, one of the most popular in the park, so we wanted to make sure to knock it out. Only 35 minutes for it with a posted 60, so you know, you got to keep an eye on how the wait times are moving, because if the wait times are moving down but they still say they're high, they might be lower than they're supposed to be. So just keep an eye on wait times. The Universal app actually has a really super helpful feature where you can put on wait time alerts for rides, or if they're delayed, you can put on alerts for when they come back. And then once their wait time hits the number you set, like if you say, I want to know when Monsters Unchained is only a 20-minute wait, then it'll give you a push notification that says, hey, it's 20 minutes, and you can go, which is awesome. I personally love Dragon Racers Rally. I do not think it is a must-do, even for me, and I love it. There's also Fire Drill, which is the water ride. Very popular right now, and one that I also love, but also one that I wouldn't consider a must-do. So I think let's say a little see you later or goodbye to Berk. Okay, I swung by Hooligans Rock and Cool for another refill, but this time I just got plain old water, which is free. And anyone can get out of the Coca-Cola freestyle machines. Ask for a water cup, bring your own water bottle. Whatever you do, you can fill water out of the freestyle machines without paying for it. And the water is cold, it is filtered, there's ice, and those freestyle machines are everywhere. Epic Universe is the easiest theme park I've ever been in when it comes to staying hydrated, because there's also a ton of really nice cold water bottle refills everywhere. But yeah, definitely get water out of those freestyle machines. You can do that over at the other Universal parks too. Then I'm gonna stroll over to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Now, one of my favorite pro tips for any theme park day is to eat it off-peak meal times. I got that mac and cheese cone to hold me over, which means we're gonna be able to have a bit of a later lunch and therefore a later dinner off of those peak meal times of like noon to 1 and 6 or 7. Makes it a little bit easier to get seating and have a shorter wait for your food. Hopefully that rings true today. All right, portal number 2 of the day, Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. I think we might go witness the trial of Dolores Umbridge. That sounds like a fun touristy thing to do, don't you think? This is another time to mention those single rider lines. If you are willing and able to split up your party, it can save you a ton of time. And remember, you'll get to wait in line together. It's just that you won't ride the ride together at the end. And who knows, you might get lucky and end up in the same car. That said, I have actually never tested the single rider line here. So I think I'm gonna give it a try as part of my perfect day. And maybe you could split up too, just for this one, as it is a 110-minute wait. If you're curious about how that wait feels, you can head and check out my Riding Everything video where I did do the full wait, but I think we're gonna try the single rider line. Single rider line is actually also how you get in if you just want to see the Ministry Atrium. While the ride is open, anybody can walk in and just see the atrium without waiting in the super long line. This is awesome. Now the rest of the queue is really cool, but that jaw-dropping room in the queue, that's huge and so cool. Thank you. And we get Floo powder. Floo powder. Woo! I love this. All right, and back up. You can come in this room whenever you want. You can see there's a long old line in here, but beautiful big room that you can come check out. You can walk in just like I just did and not ride the ride. Just come in here, take your pictures, look around, and then exit through these Floo powder fireplaces on the right. Now, if you're a single rider like me, we won't be doing that because we're gonna go try out that single rider line. And remember, you don't actually have to be alone to do the single rider line. When I was a kid, I used to think you actually had to be at the theme park alone to get to use these. My brother and I used to pretend we weren't together to get in single rider lines, but you can get in a single rider line. As a full family, you will wait in line the whole time as a full family. You'll come in here as a full family to get to take your pictures, but then you'll just be separated when it's time to ride. So the single rider line does move in bursts. So you actually do get to see some parts of the queue, just not all the little cool rooms. So we're now in the room with the Hoover vacuum in the center. It's over all those people, of course, but we moved in a big burst. Now I'm in here. Just a little check-in. I am at almost 70 minutes, 67 minutes right now. I'm still in the room with the Hoover, but basically the way this line moves is they move forward a chunk of the single rider line into the loading area, and then you sit and wait for a while they go through that chunk. And then once that chunk is almost gone through, they put another chunk of people through. Oh, it's good timing. So you'll stand for like 20 minutes at a time in the same spot, and then the line will move a good bit forward while they move a whole new chunk through. It's kind of interesting because it also means you can sit for a really long time. And the whole line is up against the walls, so you can sit on the ground leaning up against the walls. So it's kind of like either that for a little bit less time, or stand and see the cool queue for a little more time. I don't know, it's like could go either way. But we're probably gonna stop here for a while again, so I'm gonna sit back down on the ground. We made it to the stairs. It's been 95 minutes, so it's taken a long, long time. But honestly, about as long as posted, so, you know, it is what it is. Okay, it has been the posted wait time of 110 minutes, and we are coming up on boarding. You can see on this video a little bit of what the ride is actually like. I can't show you because there's no filming on rides or in shows at Universal, so this is the best way that I can show you. Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, check. Long wait in that single rider line. It came out at about 2 hours, so 120 minutes from the posted 110. I don't know, I probably won't be doing that again. We gotta take Floo powder back. And then it's back out into 1920s Paris. I think I want to move on to our next land just to make sure we have enough time in each portal today. But first, we're going to do another must-do that does cost a little extra money, and something I want to make sure that you budget for if it's something you're interested in. and that is the interactive wand experiences. Now, if you already have a wand from Universal Orlando, an interactive wand, make sure not to forget it. That is a massive tip because you won't be able to do the spells. Now, you can buy wands here in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter by stopping by Cosme Acajor's Baguettes Magiques, which means Cosme Acajor's Magic Wands. She is the Ollivanders of 1920s Paris, but a little more stylish, a little more flair and pizzazz. You might even see her in her shop. Cosme, unlike Ollivander, thinks that sure, the wand might choose the wizard, but the wizard just as much has to choose the wand. There are a number of spells. They are all very fun to find. Some of them have their own mini games. We're gonna go have a late lunch / early dinner as our main big meal of the day over in Dark Universe. I was thinking Café L'air de la Sirène, but I don't know, I just need some Dark Universe vibes. On my way in though, I am gonna stop by that secret Starbucks because I skipped coffee this morning and I am feeling it. All right, coffee acquired. Let's head into Dark Universe, head into Doss Steakhouse. Dark Universe, of course, is the Universal Monsters themed portal based on the original Universal Monster movies. There are some original characters in this land to bring the story of the land together, including the fan favorite Igor, with a Y instead of an I. Igor is quite popular, quite funny. Hopefully we run into him today. He is undoubtedly part of a perfect day. When you come in here, you have to say hi to their favorite familiar. Hey, buddy. Long gone. Lots of seating because we're at that off-peak meal time. Didn't have to wait all to get a table. And let's find a dark corner to hang out in, shall we? Food arrived very quickly. It came in like 6 minutes. This is the bits and pieces. It's one of the steaks that you can get here. They got fish on a steak, bird on a steak, bits and pieces. It is their meatloaf, and I think it is so tasty. It's like mushrooms, and the veggies on the side are great with the mashed potatoes, so. Just a hearty meal. Not the kind of thing you'd expect at a theme park restaurant. But just true of a lot of epic food. I've never seen this. The storyteller's in here playing the violin. That's so cool. She's going up to tables to play. All right, very filling meal, super tasty. I think it's time to ride my favorite ride in the park, Monsters Unchained. Wait times have dropped significantly. There are only 2 rides now at the triple digits, and it's Battle at the Ministry and Mario Kart. Mario Kart has an effective sickle rider line that I've used many times compared to Battle at the Ministry. As does Monsters Unchained, actually. We're not going to use those, though. The queues for both of those rides are incredible, and I just don't think skipping them is a part of the perfect day. So let's head back out into Darkmoor. I can't believe we saw a storyteller in the restaurant. That was so cool. It is time for Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. All day looked at like a 45-minute wait, stuff like that. It is now only 20. In my experience, 20 is pretty much a walk-on. So let's go check out a very cool queue and see how my boyfriend Dracula is doing. Monsters Unchained, best ride in the park in my opinion, and one that I think we might try to do 2 times today. I don't know, we'll see if we have time. Gotta have the perfect day. Sometimes that means riding your favorites twice. But before we go in, we have a special addition to our perfect day.
Hey!
Sage has finished whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
And has now decided to join me.
And I went home and I got my new Live Entertainment is Important shirt.
Yeah.
And it's all themed to Epic Universe, you see?
Oh my gosh.
So here's a dragon.
That's Toothless.
There's a Toothless. And then here are all the Celestial Park singers.
Yes.
And then here is
Frankenstein Manor.
Yeah, and all the monsters.
Who's that?
That's me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay. Sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you have exciting news to share with the audience?
Oh, I don't think I am the right person to share with the audience. I'm so not the right person because she screamed when it happened. So I think you should share this news.
Dracula's working again! Okay, just for context, so there is an incredible, this is a little bit of a spoiler, so skip ahead about 30 seconds if you don't want to hear it. There's a finale Dracula animatronic that leaps out towards your ride vehicle. For a minute there, they were having a lot of trouble with him. And in previews, you would either see him working perfectly or not working at all, and he looked kind of silly because he would just be static. Once the park opened, they had him moving, but he wasn't leaping down out of the ceiling. It still looked cool, but not nearly as jaw-droppingly incredible. And I saw it like that for a couple of weeks, and I was so scared that it was gonna be Disco Drac, just like the Disco Yeti, and it was gonna be the permanent way that he was gonna be, and that he wasn't gonna come back to his full glory. He was back in his full glory!
Yeah, literally, she screamed. She had like no noise the entire ride, and then all of a sudden it happened. She goes, yes! It's so funny.
So we just did a little wait times check. So interestingly, while we were in line for Monsters Unchained, which by the way was accurate, there was a brief weather delay. I don't know if you saw the clouds, and then it stopped. So there was kind of a weirdness with the wait times, but Curse of the Werewolf we were gonna try to go into if it still had the brief wait time from the weather delay. It did not. It's up to 70.
Yeah. No bueno.
Yeah. So instead, we're gonna do another must-do in this park, which is Burning Blade Tavern. Gotta go fraternize with the monster hunters.
Are you gonna get a snack or a drink?
Yes. Burning Blade Tavern, one of my favorite places to grab a snack or a drink in Dark Universe, actually in all of Epic Universe. I love this spot. Really incredible beer, although a unique beer that not everybody likes. I know because I recommended it to Sage and then he recommended it to all of his friends and they all, he was like, Quincy, my friend Quincy loves this beer. She recommends it.
It's her job to recommend things.
And then they all hated it. So I don't know, if you guys have had Reaper's Reserve, let me know what you think. It's a more malty, heavier beer, which I get is not really the vibe in a theme park. Burning Blade is basically the monster hunter hideout here in Darkmoor. So you might come across one of the monster hunters. They're a group called the Hounds, and they might give you some recommendations on how to steer clear of monsters. Very cool theming on the walls, some nods to different monster movies that you might not see around the rest of the land. And the drinks, for instance, a Pure of Heart has werewolf blood in it, allegedly. And if you drink it, every 3 hours, a werewolf won't attack you.
It's actually quite good. A lot of this park has a lot of blackberry.
Blackberry's big in this park.
Big in Epic.
If you want to learn more about the drinks, Sage and I actually did drink around the universe here, which was awesome. And
nothing weird happened at all.
No, it was super normal.
Super normal. So we got a couple things here.
Oh, I was doing that.
Oh, I was doing that. I got the Burning Cheddar Bites for about $12, which is basically crispy fried jalapeno pimento cheddar bites with sriracha ranch.
I'm making a mess, but I wanted to exhibit the cheddar.
So is that one mine or?
Yeah. I got it all over my hands.
I see. And then Quincy, she got the charred loaded potato for, again, about $12. Oh, which is a potato. It's a baked potato. That's hickory char crusted, has Monterey Jack, sour cream, jalapeno bacon, and chives. Is it good?
Yeah, so good.
That's really good.
Yeah, they're like crazy good.
It does have some spice to it.
Mm-hmm.
I also got a Monterey.
That'll turn you invisible.
This turns me invisible?
Mm-hmm. That's what the Invisible Man makes.
Anyway, so this is the souvenir Unchained mocktail for $12. It's pineapple syrup, blue raspberry syrup, passion fruit syrup, emerald prism powder, Sprite, served in a souvenir beaker. It does taste like Baja Blast.
Make sure you get the goods.
What are the goods?
There's goods in there.
I'd like to know what the goods are before you feed them to me, please. The more you say the goods, the less I trust that they're goods. Like an airplane.
You notice he didn't actually make me say what the goods are?
No. That's really good.
Right? So Emma didn't love this because she doesn't love smoky flavor.
Oh.
I think this is one of the best things. I think it's a very good loaded potato. I just think this is so good. And those are so good. Honestly, I love eating here. I need to try more of the menu.
I do want to preface that, hey, careful of all the black food dye happening. Because it can mess with some
things happen.
Post things.
We won't elaborate. All right, still a long line for Curse of the Werewolf, so we've set a wait time alert to see if that will drop. And in the meantime, we're gonna get on Monsters again. That's both of our favorites, and one of my biggest perfect day tips is don't feel like you have to do everything necessarily. Make sure you get through your priorities. What we tend to do is get everybody in your group to list 3 priorities for the day, or if you have a particularly large group, 1 or 2, and then make sure to get through those priorities first. Everything else is a bonus.
What are your 3 priorities?
For me, it's definitely gonna be Monsters Unchained, and then probably Monsters Unchained, and Stardust Racers. Where's my hat? My hat was in the chair on the ride. I was sitting on my hat.
Why were you sitting on your hat?
Because you're supposed to sit on your hat.
No, you can put it in your shirt too.
I was sitting on it.
Back.
Yeah, I just got that hat. Literally this morning.
Oh. Wait, is it an AllEars hat or is it
No, it's a Dark Universe hat.
Oh, you was your Dracula hat.
There's my brand new Dracula hat. This is not part of a perfect day. Do not leave your hat in the chair because you were too busy thinking about Dracula. They haven't found my hat yet.
I feel like this happens every perfect day. Every single time.
It was nice of you to specify every perfect day and not just every day.
Every perfect day video, I feel like that happens. It's okay. I have hope that your hat will turn up just like the DJI, the camera that I lost on our drinking around
That's
the
true, actually.
Universe Day. I'm sure it will turn up just like that.
I hope not, because that one never turned up.
Well, now we are on our way to
Super Nintendo World. For the first time today, and I know what you're thinking, Quincy, that's crazy for you to have not been to Super Nintendo World yet today, but let me tell you something. Super Nintendo World is hotter than every other land.
Hot take. I think this is one of the coolest entrances.
And you guys don't get to see it because you're looking at us.
One of the coolest portals.
Going in the pipe is a very iconic Nintendo thing, the warp pipe.
Yeah.
And then, bam, you're out. You're in this larger-than-life, louder-than-life, exciting, colorful world. Our must-dos in this land include playing some power-up games. Particularly, I'm going to make Sage Knight play my favorite one. The single rider line for Minecart Madness is not helpful.
No, and earlier it was at capacity.
Yes.
Which means literally they're not allowing anybody else in the single rider line.
Yeah, but we might do Mario Kart even if that one's a bit of a longer wait. So what happens at Epic is that for the first half of the day, all of those number 1 priorities have really high wait times, where all the number 2 priorities have very low wait times, and then they swap.
They switch.
So in the afternoon, all of the number 2 priorities have very long wait times, all the number 1 priorities have very, I don't know what I said, but you know what I mean.
What's crazy right now is that Fire Drill is actually 100 minutes, 10 more minutes than Battle of the Ministry right now.
That's wild. Fire Drill longer wait than Battle of the Ministry, that's wild.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Sage is wearing my power-up band because he forgot his. So all these points are for me. Oh no, Sage! No, we're getting salt, no! With the power-up bands, which this is gonna be my tip, if you can only buy a wand or a power-up band, I do recommend buying a, well, it actually depends. He was gonna say power-up band, I was gonna say wand.
No, that's not what I would do. I would buy the wand because I'm more attracted to that lore in general, but...
So the thing about the power-up bands, they'll let you play every game with just one power-up band, and they'll probably activate it for you even if you have none, just so you and your kids can play. You can pretend to collect coins, you just cannot keep track of your score, or play the key challenges in some instances, or the final Bowser's challenge. But if your kid's not super into it, then you can skip this one and still have a good time like you have one. Whereas with a wand, the only way to cast the spells is if you have a wand. You've defeated Babumps, you gotta get your power up because we gotta get big again. This, along with Monsters Unchained, are the 2 most effective single riders in the park that are actually worth splitting your family up to get the shorter wait. And remember, you'll wait in line together the whole time, and then at the very end, you will get split up when you actually get put on the ride. So I think we're gonna go ahead and single rider this one.
Single rider!
Single rider. Now this single rider does skip a large portion of the queue, and the queue is very cool and all indoors and air conditioned. I certainly don't mind waiting in the queue for this ride. All right, Sage just went off to board. I'm next, and you actually will see footage of this ride because this is a carbon copy of the ride in California, and you're allowed to film over there. So some California footage incoming, but just pretend it's here because it looks the same. What was your score?
I did okay. It was only my third time doing it.
Okay.
134.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not as good as me.
I didn't think it was.
But pretty good. 149.
Yeah, I was. But I will say I was less stimulated. I was kind of like looking around at the sets a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a cool ride. Like especially when you go to Rainbow Road and all those things. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I do. I recommend if you're not interested in the gameplay or the augmented reality, riding without the visor because the sets are fully done.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It doesn't need the visor. It's just a little bit slow without it. And that augmented reality really isn't for everybody. Wait times are definitely dropping. I think that we do.
Yoshi?
Yoshi's not one of our must-dos. There's a treat that Sage hasn't had that I think is incredible. And I think you should probably make a part of your perfect day. You may have heard of it because it is so popular. People are literally waiting a long time for this treat. We're gonna grab the DK Crush float, which I thought sounded a little gross the first time I heard of it. And I was wrong. It's incredible.
I think it's just cool that Nintendo World is the only portal that has a portal.
It's a portal with its own portal. Minecart Madness is still 80 minutes, and that's on our secondary tier of must-dos. So we might not make it. We would rather do Stardust Racers. And we don't want to end up, ending our park day with Minecart Madness after a long wait.
No.
And we only have about an hour and 7 minutes left in the park day.
That's crazy.
I know.
Where did the time go?
Fun.
You're right. It went to fun.
The fun took it. But back here in the Donkey Kong area, Minecart Madness is a very fun ride. At bare minimum, come and watch it because it does look like the cars jump the track. That said, it's a bit of a herky-jerky coaster, kind of a toss-up of whether you'll love it or hate it, because it is very rumbly. Sage really doesn't like it.
I think it's fun to do once, but I don't think waiting 80 minutes is worth it to me.
But it looks pretty cool.
It looks so cool.
And you can come and look at it while you eat your DK Crush float, and we're gonna get in this egregious line for that. Pineapple soft serve with caramel corn and lots of crunchy stuff on it, including little crunchy stars. And the little Donkey Kong in it is actually the spoon, and it is melting at light speed.
Reggie.
Give it a shot.
Ouch.
Yeah. You think I'm standing in this grass roof because I like it?
Is this good? Is it a good bite?
Yeah. And then sip the soda.
Sip the soda. Wait, sip the soda and then bite?
Bite, sip soda.
Whoa.
It's so good, right?
That's so weird. It's
Way
so
better
good.
than you'd think because it doesn't sound like it would be that good.
No. I really enjoy this. Sorry you can't have any though.
What's crazy is the waffle bowl falls apart in the soda, and then that's good.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, what a perfect day for me.
You just got here.
Oh.
So with our hot tip of doing Super Nintendo World at night, well, we now get to see Super Nintendo World at night, which it really does come alive even more than it already was. The lighting design in here is awesome. And we avoided that brutal, super hot part of the day. This also tends to be the busiest land in the morning because it is the only full portal opened for early entry. So the hotel guests will be in here first thing, and it's usually pretty crowded for the first half of the day because of that. Now we are going to hit our final must-do, which is Stardust Racers at night. This is the one major coaster in the park. It is a dual racing coaster themed to being comets in the sky. You're riding a comet. And that is really driven home at night because the ride track itself is not illuminated, only the cars are. So it really does feel like you are on a comet rocketing through space. It is a very intense roller coaster. It is my favorite roller coaster of all time. It's a hot debate whether it's this or Velocicoaster for most people, but for me, it's this all the way.
Can I say something crazy?
Of course.
I cannot wait for the clocks to be set forward an hour.
I know, so that it'll actually get dark.
Yeah,
because for the record, y'all, it is past 8 p.m. right now, and it is still this late. The park closes at 9.
Which means people only have really 30 minutes to experience all the incredible details and just work the lighting designers did here at Epic Universe.
And this is a park that really was built for the nighttime, so it is interesting that it closes at 9.
Yeah.
Now, some nights it does close at 10, and you can see we have some footage of Epic Universe at night, but I don't know, if you're planning Epic Universe Day, check out those park hours, because I really do recommend choosing a day where the park is open a little bit later so that you can experience it at night, because it is so, so beautiful at night, and a lot of the rides are better at night, those outdoor coasters. But Stardust Racers is gonna be our big finale before a nice wind down with the fountain show of our perfect day.
What's interesting for all of our typical Disney goers, Universal has a lot of metal detectors, which means you have to put everything in a locker, including your phone, anything that could potentially go off, because they are serious about nothing flying off while you're on the coaster.
Most rides at Epic Universe have incredible family rooms.
Oh my gosh, have you seen this one, the one for here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either indoors or in the shade, where you can wait with your family in line and then hop into the family room and be right there as soon as they get off the ride. You're only separated from your family for a matter of minutes while they're actively on the ride. The family rooms at Epic Universe, they've done an incredible job with that.
Hear me out. Some people have child swap. What if we add water bottle swap? I hold your water bottle, you ride the ride.
Why?
Is your water bottle not precious to you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, heard it here first.
Clearly no.
No, heard it here first.
You want to know what's precious to me? My hat that Dracula took.
He did take it.
He took it.
Because he likes you.
You think?
Nope. This has been a very interesting evening for me.
I'm gonna say it because we're all thinking it. I look different, okay? You literally said I look different after Stardust Racers.
I did say that, but this time it's because we have never done the last row, and they gave us the last row.
Which we were nervous about, honestly, because we've heard how intense the last row of Stardust Racers is.
Yes.
I have ridden this many times in my glasses.
Oh,
Many times.
oh, it's starting.
The fountain show is starting.
Fountain show starting.
I've ridden this ride many times in my glasses. They've stayed firmly on my face. About halfway through the ride, not even, 10 seconds of the ride, I realized they were flying around because of the G-forces. I held them with my hand. Right at the end of the ride, I was like, we're good, there's nothing else. Took my hand down, and we had one little hill.
Yeah.
With the G-forces of the last row, my glasses went up and off my head, my glasses are gone.
Between your hat and your glasses, you've given Epic Universe everything.
I've bled at this park. I've cried.
Oh,
I have
no.
cried, and I've bled.
All right.
I've lost my glasses and my hat. Let's go see a fountain show.
Yeah!
Well, we left. Hey, we went to Lost and Found, and you'll notice this hat on my head is not my Dracula hat. That's because it wasn't Lost and Found. But I've filed a report, and maybe I'll hear from them. And honestly, if I don't, I'm gonna go plead my case and see if they'll just give me a Dracula hat for free. And I think that they might, because they're nice. They don't have to do that.
I think that's a worthy cause, and they're definitely gonna say yes, because they're not a corporation who really, their number one goal is to make money.
Here's why I think they'll say yes. I'm gonna say, you can't replace my prescription glasses, but you can replace my Dracula hat.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Here you go.
It might work.
Here you go.
It might work. Anyway, this has been a perfect day, or what was supposed to be. At least it told you how to have a perfect day, including some cautionary tales like do not wear your prescription glasses on the last row of Stardust racers.
I wasn't there the whole time, but I feel like I was.
Otherwise, I think we had a pretty awesome day. We hit all of our priorities, the major ride in every single land of the park, had some great food, some great treats.
Hey, I've got a question.
Yes.
Did you invite me because you needed a ride at the end of the night?
No.
Am I just an Uber to you?
No.
Hey, if you're still here, like this video.
And drop this secret code in the comments so you know you made it all the way. And don't forget to subscribe. We upload tips, info, games, and more from Epic Universe and beyond 7 days a week. Why, Sage?
Because we're serious about fun! See, I said it a monotone way in a previous video and Quincy got mad at me, so hopefully that made up for it.
That was a lot, and I was going to harmonize with you, but yeah, you didn't find the opportunity.
Oh. We're serious about fun. No, you do it. I'll harmonize.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually am not the one who should do it.
You are.
We're serious about fun. I really hope they've stopped using the footage by now.